Return to Monkey Island! I love the Monkey Island series, but it has had some bumpy roads to get to the game that I'm reviewing today. Monkey Island 1 and 2 were classics. I played them and beat them back when they first came out, and when the special editions came out too. Those were also good. Then came The Curse of Monkey Island, which took a more cartoonish look. And while it was okay, I just didn't feel quite right. Escape from Monkey Island was next, and it took the series into a 3D environment. But the only thing I can remember about that was the awful monkey combat. If you ignore the Telltale games, which I personally didn't like, this is the 5th game in the series. And actually the conclusion to the 2nd game, which ended on a cliffhanger. They do wrap up that cliffhanger in the beginning moments of this game, as it starts with the child of Guybrush Threepwood, the main character of the series, reenacting some of his most exciting adventures. Guybrush decides to tell him the story that he hasn't told him yet, which was when he was going up against his arch nemesis LeChuck. They've once again changed the art style in the game, and I like it. I would prefer they did the visuals of the first 2 games as kind of like an homage to finish off the series, but that was just like a personal preference. This is fine. One of the best things this game does is that it returns to the island from the first game. They recreated it in this new art style, and it was a great way to get me back into this game as I knew my way around the town. It keeps you in a familiar environment to appease the veterans of the series, and the town is fairly small, so it's easy enough to find your way around if you're new to the game. The pacing was great in the first half of this game. Nothing seemed to drag on. Sure, you were constantly looking for 3 different objectives, which I'm sure they did because they thought it was funny to always give them 3 trials to do. In the second half, the story opens up, but it also becomes a bit slower. I didn't like the second half twist, only because it didn't make any sense. And that says a lot, since this game series is kind of crazy at times. The puzzles in this title were very well designed. You will never die in the game unless you really want to, for 2 reasons. This story is being told to you, so you obviously survive. And the Monkey Island games don't punish you for not picking up some strange item hours in the past, or doing something dumb. In fact, the game encourages you to do dumb things, and they'll often give you dialogue for it. The only way you could die is to drown, and they give you a timer, and the amount of time it takes you to drown is so long you're going to have to do it on purpose. Now, the game is fully voice acted. It has all the same voice actors that have been in it since the 1997 Curse of Monkey Island, which is incredible that they keep so many actors together on this project. They do a really outstanding job on the material. You can play this in casual or normal mode. Casual mode will eliminate some of the puzzles that you're going to have to do, and new players or people who like the story over puzzles should just do this mode. Normal mode isn't hard, it's just more complicated. The story is the same, but the way to get there has more bumps. They give you a hint system which will guide you through solving all the puzzles in the game. I do wish some of the hints were better. Sometimes the hints they give you are just reinstated ways of saying the last hint. Like that's going to explain anything. There is no penalty for choosing a hint, other than losing out on figuring out a puzzle. And unlike other Monkey Island games, which are kind of confusing, I didn't really have any problems figuring out the puzzles in this most of the time. And I think that's the game's biggest strength, the well-designed puzzles. Return to Monkey Island was an incredible conclusion to the 2nd game's cliffhanger. I would not have guessed the direction they were going to go. The first half of this game is well-paced and a fun adventure. It does stumble a little in the bloated last part, but that doesn't stop it from being enjoyable. There are a ton of callbacks in this for veteran players, and it's easy enough for newcomers to enjoy. However, it will spoil some of the things in the previous games. I hope they'll bring the special editions of Monkey Island 1 and 2 to the Switch eventually. Now, this game is currently $24.99, and while I do wish it was $5 cheaper, I'm still going to recommend it. If this is Guybrush Threepwood's final adventure, it's definitely one you should not miss. It's a very funny and enjoyable game, and you should buy it now.